Don't let me interrupt you.
That was pretty great. I was going to say, how do I start this without saying welcome to the watching show? But thank you for doing that. Now I can say welcome to the watching show. Here we go. We're probably going to finish the Slavia tree. Why so sad? A familiar voice pulled me out of my thoughts. Just had a fight with Slavia? You could say that, you peeping Tom. That's super tiny Iris. Right. And what's the reason? She doesn't believe that I'm an alien from the future. I smiled ironically. I wouldn't believe it either, said Lena seriously. If I were in your shoes, neither would I. It's not a big deal. You'll make up from a quarrel. Yeah, but there's not much time left to. Left to what? To make the right choice. She faded away before I could finish. After a while, the whole camp assembled together at the bus stop. Oh, we're on the way? It's happening now? You need to speak words.
Everyone's here.
Began Olga Dmitrievna.
You're leaving our camp today, and I'd like to tell you something imparting.
Dude, I know you've seen this, but Olyana looks not like herself. Like
we've seen this picture
distressed.
before.
I said, I know we've seen it before, but Olyana looks super distressed.
She looks upset.
Like not like her. She was visibly nervous and desperately lost for words.
I hope that you'll remember the time that you spent for life. You might actually could probably fast forward this.
I don't think so.
I also hope they became at least a little better. Managed to learn something, found new friends. Yeah, this is all the same as last time.
No, it won't let me skip. And it doesn't mean you haven't said this, but it won't let me skip. The camp leader turned away. It seemed she was trying to hold back her tears. I didn't expect her to get so emotional, although her speech sounded like a complete nonsense to me as usual. Of course, this is where I met Slavia, but now we were going through a tough time. And what will happen next is absolutely unclear. So I didn't care about whether I'll miss this place and Olga Dmitrievna or not. Unlikely. When the pioneers started to get on the bus, I pushed through the crowd to Slavia. Let's sit together! Okay, she said quietly. I even thought that I saw the shadow of a smile on her face. The bitch. She never smiles anymore. Ever since we had that huge fight. Did we see this picture before? I think we did.
Yeah.
Don't know why they draw a second one. The bus flew across the expanse of my new world. Outside, fields followed forests and then calm rivers and highlands. It felt as familiar with all of this as if it was in my own homeland. Anyway, the surroundings were the least of my concerns now. I was trying hard to find the right words to start the conversation. We'd just been sitting there, probably for a couple hours. Man, this guy is great. But all attempts to strike up a conversation had ended with one-word answers. Forget about what I said before. I don't want to make excuses or say that it's not true. It's just now, the most important thing to me is you.
I understand, but I'm mad apparently about it.
She did not like that.
Yeah.
She just wanted to use me to bone, and she wants me to get out of her life, apparently. She looked at me carefully. Even if I sometimes act the wrong way and talk nonsense, regardless, the main thing for me now is to be with you. And it always will be. Wow, she hasn't got a clue yet. I understand that I acted too recklessly and planned stupid ventures, but we can try to make everything right. Together, you and me. Slavia was still gazing at me.
Do you realize that it will be difficult, that you just can't run blindly in the dark? Because there will be so many problems that we won't be able to solve.
Yes, I understand that now, but for you, I'm prepared for anything. She didn't say a word, but just kissed me gently and put her head on my shoulder. It definitely meant yes. I didn't want to bother her anymore. Let her sleep. The point is that Slavia finally understood me, understood what she means to me. She realized that I'll do anything for her sake. And even if I'm overreacting or deciding too early, she's ready to put me on the right path, the path that we'll walk together. The night started to claim its rights on the bus and settled down to sleep. At first, I tried to fight it, but is there any use in enduring and wasting my efforts when the future had finally become crystal clear for me? My eyes shut for a moment. Oh, okay. Was this here before? Day ellipsis?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man. There are dreams that you don't want to wake up from. It's like one is floating down a warm river towards a place far beyond the horizon, blissfully watching the vain world hidden behind the clouds. The past is left behind. Its echoes do not tear your soul. And the future is right here. You just have to reach out. It doesn't matter what is awaiting you there. The very process of immersing yourself in this fairy world of serenity and happiness is itself much more important. I've always believed that the universe was one in this state, and one day it will return to it again. Our life is just a blink of an eye, just a second in comparison to the universe. The birth and death of stars is a minute, and those of galaxies are hours. But even all of that, all put together, will not... Okay. I'm not going to save it because we're at the end anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks how to live each specific second. So it doesn't exist anymore. All right. Let's see what he says about the stupid room. I opened my eyes and stretched blissfully. I had no desire to stand up as I felt like it was in perfect bliss, muffled in a blanket. After all, I don't have to go anywhere. As usual, actually. I don't have any plans, so why shouldn't I just sleep? I rolled over and stared at my old, worn wallpaper covering the curved wall. Jeez, I was like, what? How's it covering a ball? I wonder how long ago the last time they renovated this room was. And why does here have wallpaper instead of bare wood anyway? Vague warning bells began ringing somewhere deep in my mind.
Warning, but maybe that's what the warning is. Vague warning.
I threw the blanket away, jumped up, and furiously began to look around. Yes, I was in my flat again. At first, I was paralyzed. The shock was so strong that my brain was unable to process what was going on. I just stood and gazed on the screen of the monitor and table opposite me. I couldn't think. I even forgot to breathe. Finally, my mind began to clear. What happened anyways? I fell asleep on the bus going to the district center. Yes, something like that. And Slavia was sitting by my side, and now I'm back here. Seems like during the week I spent there in the camp, I had gotten so used to the fact that I'd never returned to my previous life that now I had just have no idea how to react to all of this. After all, at first, my main wish was to get home, but in the end, everything was like a bad movie. At least I had come back. But I am still shocked. No, I felt no fear. I was rather interested and upset. After all, I'd already made up my mind to start a new life with Slavia, leaving all my problems behind. Insults, suffering, self-examination, unfinished affairs, and plans for the future. Obviously, that life could not be worse than this one, please. But there's no returning to it now. On the other hand, if someone had told me a week ago that I would be sent into a different world just like that in the blink of an eye, I would have not believed them. So what makes such a fantastic event happening again so impossible? Moving my legs with difficulty, I went to the kitchen, got a glass of water, and returned to the room. The ice-cold liquid with a disgusting aftertaste of bleaching powder revived me to some degree. Now I have to decide what to do next. Suddenly I realized that I could not bear the silence. After turning the computer on, I launched a random song in the player and managed to calm down somewhat. And seriously speaking, what can I do? Recently, I realized that absolutely nothing is up to me. By someone's will, I was pulled out of my usual world and then sent back. No answers were found during the week in the camp. What's the point in speculating now? I must forget everything that happened like a bad dream. Maybe those were just hallucinations. I don't really care now. The only thing that prevented me from completely forgetting this short period of my life was Slavia. I recalled her smile and all the time we spent together. From the meeting on the very first day to the night in the forest and our departure from the camp. My heart furiously jumped inside my chest, spreading oppressive pain all throughout my body. I liked her at first sight. So gentle, so caring, so understanding. Just like that anime heroine. What was her name? The one who helped an antisocial fellow like me deal with depression. And if you think about it, there is no such people in real life. Slavia asked nothing in return, needed no encouragement, never expected to be understood or praised for her work. She was just being herself, a girl that cannot exist in real life. If you think clearly, that's really exactly what she was. It seems like I've seen one single week-long dream about the pioneer camp, Soviet teenagers and their camp leader, about warm summer nights and gatherings around a fire, about light-hearted children's games and simple human joys. Whew! About one moment that lasted a week and everlasting summer. Hey, he said the title of the game, but not just... There it is! Hey, we finished it. I've been there. I was a part of everything. Oh, okay, no, we're not saving. My eyes unwillingly filled with tears. No tears of pain or despair, tears of sorrow and bright melancholy. Even if everything is over, I experienced something that most people could never even dream about. Boning in the woods. Slavia's image flashed in my head brighter and brighter. I would love so much for her to return to that camp with me. Maybe I have nothing to offer her now, but my entire life is still ahead of me. I guess I learned a lot of useful lessons from that event. I couldn't help thinking that it all seems too perfect, like it was written according to some simple plan. A loser hero, a fantastic incident, and a wonderful transformation. I guess it's not possible. Not in this life. Will I become the person I was before only a day or a week later? Well, it's the most realistic course of events. One thing's for sure, I'll never be able to go back. And then I went back. So remember the voice on that called you away, and then the computer voice here? I think it's the cat-eared girl. That's what I assumed. Because you said we get that ending after we do all the other endings.
I think so.
And she seems like, or whoever that voice is the meta character.
Yeah.
So, and the thing that's following me, or I don't know. About the month has passed since I returned from Sovyanok, or a month, okay. Or to say it more correctly, since I woke up. I returned to my usual life as a loner, surfing the internet for days, going outside only to shop. As expected, it began to suit me again. Well, obviously, moments of melancholy and depression occurred. A person like me just can't do without them. But they lasted no longer than usual. Except those times when we were all sleeping, I returned to that summer, that mysterious camp. But after awakening, I tried to banish these thoughts as soon as possible. After all, what's the point of dreaming of becoming a wizard? Even if miracles happen, and I was proof that they do, they can happen completely independent of us. The word sweet doesn't give you a sweet taste, regardless of how often you pronounce it. But nevertheless, something has changed in my existence. Formerly, I didn't think ahead. Didn't really care how long I would live, whether 1 week or 40 years, but now I looked forward to it with optimism. Not like I tried to change anything or to become a different person, but the world now seemed more understandable. Not simple, not friendly. No, not friendly at all. Just understandable. Before I couldn't cope with some events or facts. Though I kind of realized that they were there for a reason. Now I started seeing life as something simpler. What happens for the best. Or at least it happens and I can live with it. And if I can't, I'm powerless in that case. I guess I started smiling more often. Or at least I didn't carry that look of deep universal frustration 24/7. Even my acquaintances, on the internet obviously, noticed some change in me, and their opinions agreed that those changes are good. And now I think I am ready to live on, thanks to Sovyanok and its inhabitants. Without them, I wouldn't be able... It was the beginning of January. The city had barely recovered from the New Year hangover. The streets were almost empty during the day, not to mention the nights, when the only stranger walking down the street seemed extremely busy with some business rushing somewhere for a reason that couldn't wait. I had no such reason. I just decided to have a little walk. It's necessary to get fresh air sometimes. A winter's night is the best time to be alone with yourself. I always thought that true solitude can be felt in a crowd rather than in a burning hot desert, boundless plain, or on top of a mountain covered with snow. In the stream of people, words, thoughts, and aspirations, everyone had their own aim and direction. And I was the only one strolling among them, deserving no attention from others. Maybe they're like vectors moving in different directions. They never meet at Cartesian coordinates. He really wants me to save. It's the same thing here. Those people are walking, running in one direction, and I'm dragging along the other.
Just save really quick. Just save.
I was wrong. I misspoke. If it pulled up the save menu, it'd be wanting me to save, but it's pulling up the transcript a lot. I misspoke. It doesn't want me to save.
Well, you should save anyway.
Fine. There. Before, yes, but now highly unlikely. In the bright, blinding lights of the city, the noise of cars and the swirling crowds, I enjoyed a heavenly symphony of silence. But now the situation is slightly different. There is just me in the street, so I am alone not only within my own self, but within the whole world. Being a sand grain in a desert is not the same thing as being a water drop in an ocean. In the crowd, nobody noticed me. Nobody paid any attention, but now everyone who peeks out the window or see me while driving past will think, why can't he just stay home? Maybe he has some urgent matter. Suppose he's mad, or is he just drunk? I never liked standing out from a crowd when it's not appropriate, so opposing society was never an option for me. But now it was different. As I tried to tell everybody, look, I can be happy too. You need your TV and your hot chocolate, but I just need the snow, the night, a dark room, and a dull monitor screen. And I'm not any worse off than you. I felt sadness in my heart, but it was a serene sadness. Do I really need the things that they have and I do not? Maybe I have something much more valuable. I'm going to step in front of a bus now. Hey, that looks new. I didn't notice how I came to the bus stop of 410 route. This brings back memories.
This is super different.
Oh, this brings back memories. I sat down and rummaged in my pockets trying to find cigarettes, smoke a fat one. However, the packet was empty. Fine.
Smoke a fat one? A fat cigarette? Okay.
I crumpled it up and threw it into the bin. Maybe I'll get healthier. Woo! A lonely star was shining in the sky. Today, I read on the internet that, according to the calculations of scientists, one of the most beautiful astronomical events has already ceased to exist and we'll see it only decades later. Maybe the star has already exploded as well, and now it's only a beautiful image in the night sky, somewhere near a lost planet on the edge of the galaxy. However, why does one or another thing exist? Is it simply because it's just there, has shape and can be touched? Or is it because we believe that it exists? At first thought, the answer is simple, but on the other hand, even if this star is gone, we could still see its cold light. Maybe it helps someone to get out of a snowy winter forest, gave someone hope or a bit of warmth to someone else. Could a simple astronomical object that exploded God knows when do all this? Can billions of people believe in something that doesn't really exist? But
Oh my gosh!
that's how I feel. I feel it. But believe that's not really real. At least something I've heard of.
But real isn't real, and they just. But then, what is anything?
The snowfall grew stronger. That was a real snowstorm. Midnight. It was about to leave, but suddenly someone emerged from the solid white veil and ran over into the bus stop roof. Who is it?
Slavia!
No.
Yes!
Unless he's like crazy now. Which
Ponytail hanging out of her head! Slavia! I knew it! This is what I think
if
I
it's
saw.
Slavia, it's bad news. It means he's crazy. It was clearly a girl. She had a long ponytail hanging out of her hood. She stood with her back to me so I could make out with her face.
Excuse me! Has the last bus already left?
She asked without turning to me. Where can she be heading so late? The fourth head must
She's
be the
gone.
most
It's Slavia,
first
so she's going to the camp. She's going to the endless summer camp.
Not only does it sometimes take people away to another reality, but they can't even arrive when you want it to. There is no one more. There is more bus coming just after midnight, I think.
Thank you.
The smile was clear in her voice. For some time, I just sat silently examining the girl. Finally, she spoke.
Where are you going so late?
Is it really that interesting for her? Just having a walk, I answered thoughtfully. And are you here for something important?
Well, not really.
Damn, I guess I'm not important. That really is Slavia.
Just going home.
Because she doesn't care about him. Where do you live? What's your address? I couldn't help asking.
Far away.
A place everlasting in the summertime, she said vaguely. And I live nearby, you know.
It's a good area.
I would say there couldn't be a worse one. I didn't have too many options.
You don't like it?
Don't know. I got used to it by now.
I think that people can be happy anywhere they want.
Perhaps.
Well, think of it, you stupid. Think. Just think.
She just punches you.
People live even at the North Pole in stations, in the Sahara Desert, and in many other places. It's the people themselves that are the most important.
It's difficult to disagree with you,
But I will.
but I'll try.
Here I go, jumping through hoops again with
Here I
stupid
go.
logic.
Here's my retort number one. You stupid bitch.
Yeah. Also, nothing is real, and real isn't real,
Yeah,
and
that's-
space isn't real.
Yeah.
Stupid.
My-
Stupid idiot.
My comment sounded so philosophical that I unconsciously smiled.
you
He's so
smiling?
proud of himself. Wow, you suck.
You don't sound too honest to me.
Now, why would you say that, madam? She laughed.
I think you're a good person.
Now she turned dead. I realized why her
Told you.
voice, stature, and everything else seemed familiar to me. Slavia stood in front of me. For a moment, I lost the ability to speak, but just for a moment. Of course, it could just be a girl who looks like Slavia from my dream, or am I experiencing the strongest deja vu? This city is not a pioneer camp. I'm not wearing a uniform, and it's not summer at all. That was the biggest clue. Trying to convince myself that it's just an illusion, I decided to ask a question. Have we met before? She carefully inspected me and smiled.
I don't think so, but your face seems familiar.
Had you ever been to a pioneer camp as a kid?
Of course not.
She laughed.
When I was born, they had already been disbanded.
Oh, right.
Although, I had a dream recently.
She thought for a second. Me too. I mean, about the pioneer camp.
Maybe that is where we've met.
The girl said seriously. Possibly.
By the way, my name is Slavia. Actually, my name is full name is Slavia, but everyone calls me Slavia. You can do that too.
I was about to tell her that I know, but I stopped short. After all, is it that important to know why Slavia from my dream is standing right here, right now, in front of me at this frozen stop on the charmed bus number 410? After all, there are dreams that you don't want to wake up from. Hey, he said it before. And mine is Samyon.
What a lovely name.
Starts with an S, too. You can't
Why
figure out
can't I get married, Dad?
Yo.
Finally heard through. No, don't load. I was trying to save it.
Oh my god.
Jeez, that would suck. So you live far away, don't you?
Well, not really.
I live here in our hearts. She named a district. I thought it would be somewhere in the south.
Why?
Don't know. Dumb bimbos are usually popular in the south. Maybe because you look like a pioneer.
Oh, you and your pioneers.
Slavia laughed. Maybe we wouldn't ever meet if not for them.
Why?
Her expression became serious. Just a joke. Listen, do you agree that the world exists because we believe in it?
That's like some kind of subjective idealism.
Slavia thought for a bit. This school of philosophy became close to me recently.
Well, I don't know. I'm not that good with these subjects.
What are your subjects then?
Different ones.
No
It's
doubt.
just been a few minutes since we met.
Not even like a minute, 2 minutes. But it seems like it's been much longer.
For some reason, I've got the same feeling.
I'm getting pretty sick of you. It's been a long time. An awkward pause followed. The snowfall has eased, but there was still no bus. I looked at my watch and assumed that it won't arrive at all. Slavia seemed to feel even colder by now, as her ass cheeks grew more red and her hands were now moving
I kept
frenetically,
spanking them.
trying to warm her body. Seems like the
I will
Ford.
spank your butt to make it
We
warmer.
must create friction for warmth. Oh, I hit that keyboard too hard. Please don't break. No, it's okay. There we go.
I guess.
She said sadly. If you want to, I started pulling myself together.
What?
You can stay at my place. Yeah, this is totally natural and believable.
But we've just met.
She laughed. She didn't seem frightened even a tiny bit. Yes, I understand, but it's cold outside.
Aren't you afraid?
Slavia looked at me playfully. Yeah, I'm pretty afraid of inviting a stranger to my house. Should I be afraid?
Who knows? Who knows?
I just suggested it. I don't think anything of that sort. Started to make excuses.
I understand. If you don't mind, of course.
Even though it seemed impossible, she flushed even more. Should we go?
Let's wait a bit longer. Maybe it will arrive.
Okay.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Slavia asked after a while. Well, masturbate.
Right.
I work at home, kinda. Just couldn't tell her that I do nothing.
Sounds good.
Why?
Don't know. You have a lot of free time. You don't have anywhere to go anywhere, so
And you? I asked, trying to change the subject somehow.
I'm studying.
Getting an
Ethnographer.
Thank you. Ethnographer's degree?
What is that?
Slavia asked seriously. Apparently not. Never mind.
I'll be an ecologist.
Well, a career to be proud of. We chatted about random things, and the bus still was nowhere to be seen. It was past 1 already. Time passed by so fast. Why is he trying to go? I guess he's not trying to go anywhere. He's just walking. I guess Slavia understood my thoughts.
Shall we go?
She smiled. I stood up and headed slowly toward my house. She carefully held onto my arm and looked into my eyes.
You know, I'm pretty sure that this year will be better than the previous one.
In the next everlasting summer.
An everlasting fall. Autumn.
It's pretty over, right? Comfy guy.
Look at us.
I
We
get-
got you.
Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents.
Every
key points,
story is a
epilogue,
star
and-
that explodes in space.
Do you think we could feel
And every
its warmth?
explosion in space is
How
not
long
real.
does it take for that to reach us? Do you think that star gave somebody hope?
Yeah.
Is hope something that we make for ourselves?
Or is it real?
This came from it's so pretentious and annoying.
Stupid.
And there is no book which, if you read it again, would not reveal new details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. The end. I mean, I want it to end, but I don't think it will.
Is it over?
Now it's over.
Thank God.
Are we gonna get no, just this more?
What'd you think? You didn't want to see just the same pictures we've been seeing slowly scrolling across the screen slowly.
I don't.
Let's look at the freaking.
We've seen all these, and we can go to the gallery. It won't let me skip.
Dreamtail wrote this.
I guess I can just leave, right? Okay.
Wait.
Wait for what? You want to read these?
Yeah, you designed this.
That's true.
And Koik.
That's true. I didn't know that.
I didn't consider that.
I didn't read it.
But look, Veal and Koik did too.
Look, Itchan Hick and
That's the best
Hick.
picture of this whole game, other than the electronic one.
I kind of want to agree.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
It's pretty. It looks like the beginning of a heroic anime fight. Not fight. To a show where they're fighters or something. She's just missing like a bandana on her head, and he needs like a oversized sword in his back in that picture. And then there you go.
And then creepy real life Simeon is all like, we banged in my dream, you know?
Yeah.
And we did a lot of other stuff.
All right. Before we get to other endings and get more answers, why do you think she's there in real life? I had a thought right away, and I don't know if this is the one I'm going to hold to, but it was the first thought I had is when she turned around. It is Slavia, and he knows her name. He must have seen her at the bus stop and didn't know that he saw her, and then he dreamt about her.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah. No, he's crazy, and he's daydreaming is what he's doing. It's all this is just daydreams.
Are these teeth, and is it bleeding?
Click on that.
Because that looks very disturbing. Slavia, good. Oh, we gotta do Slavia bad?
No, we're only doing the good endings.
We'll do the good endings. All right. Well, hey, good timing. Jeez, that was long. Was that
so long.
2 hours at least to do Slavia's tree?
It was 8 episodes.
No.
Yep. No. I've just what I was working on because
I told you it was
chose
gonna be a lot. I just didn't know it was gonna be this much. Sorry, go ahead.
You were like, he was soliloquizing, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have any lines for a while. So I got on my phone and I was prepping the thumbnails, and I literally prepared 6 thumbnails, and we did just 2 more episodes, and all 6 thumbnails were for Slavia's.
Oh my god.
Train. Anyway, I think that was the one we did the least of, though. So hopefully, when we do Uyana,
hopefully the next one
Alyssa
won't be as long.
and Lena, I think Lena will actually be half as long because half of it we've already done. We got so close to being done with Lena.
But I will say I don't think she's the longest one. Miku is probably the longest one because she's done like nothing of hers.
Miku only has a couple of choices that pertain to her. Actually, I was looking at all the past. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Find out.
We'll do another thing. Who do you want to do next, Lena?
Who do you want to do? We're gonna do Lena next because we kind of got her out of the way and no surprises.
Let's do
okay,
it.
next time we do Lena. If you want to see that, join.
Yay,
if you don't, you should join anyway.
Slavia's my wife now, and I'm gonna get a pillow that looks like her for my room.
And I don't think you're crazy, but you have to understand I can't just accept it.
Yes, I understand. I just thought it would help you to understand my situation and my motivation for my actions.
It didn't, to be honest.
I sighed in frustration.
And my opinion hasn't changed. You better be off. You need to pack your stuff or you'll be late.
There's...
Let's talk later.
I wasn't going to argue. She's a cold bitch. If Slavia hasn't changed her mind after my confession, then it's pointless to press on right now. Distressed, I shuffled off to Olga Dmitrievna's cabin. The camp leader stood at the doorstep and looked like she was waiting for me. Not big surprise.
Why are you so gloomy? Did something happen?
No, nothing. Just came to pack my things.
Oh, come on, let it out. You might feel better.
Well, how do you think I can prove that I'm telling the truth to somebody who doesn't believe me?
Are you absolutely sure that you're telling the truth?
Absolutely.
Then perhaps they might just need time to consider.
Except there's no time left.
Then I don't know.
She shrugged her shoulders in dismay. Well, it's something at least. I tossed my winter clothing into a bag and headed to the bus stop. Yeah, buddy, what's gonna happen at the end? If a couple of days ago I'd seen the Icarus standing at the gate of the camp and waiting for pioneers, I would have been the happiest person in this reality. But right now I wasn't in the mood to rejoice. There was still plenty of time left until the bus departure time. I sat down the curb and buried my head in
Why
my
is
hands.
curb spelled like that?
Because it's freaking not your English American. They had some British spellings too, like color. And
Is that how they spell curb in Britain?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I think it's just midday, and the bus doesn't leave till evening, so I think there's actually quite a while left in the day. What do you want to do? Because we're half an hour. We could run this long and try to end it, or we can just inevitably cut it, and it's the next day. Who knows how long it's going to last? But we have another playthrough to do after that. I think we probably should just stop.
Okay.
Dang.
I won't disagree because I just don't know when it's going to end.
Just keeps going, and I'm not like, how do I say this? I want it both ways. I kind of want to just get to the end, but I'm also glad there's more content.
Okay.
So it's kind of
Good
for me, but is it good for you too?
Is it good for you?
Yeah.
No.
No. All right.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
All right.
It's like, my gosh, it's just all so long,
It's a lot more than I thought. A lot more.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. You will see us next time, and that's how it is.